Hi, everybody. So, in our past couple of stories we've listened to together, we have read stories about how all of our main characters are different in their own ways, but also special in their own way, too. And sometimes our families are different and they are very special in their own way. So, today I wanted to read a story to you called The Relatives Came. And this story is written by Cynthia Ryland and illustrated by Stephen Gamel. And this book's really special because it won an award. This book won the Caldecott Award honor, and it's an honor that are given to really great books. So I hope you enjoy this story. The Relatives Came. It was in the summer of the year when the relatives came. They came from Virginia, and they left when their grapes were nearly purple enough to pick, but not quite. They had an old station wagon that smelled like a real car, and in it they put an ice chest filled with soda pop, and some boxes of cracker and some bologna sandwiches. And they came up from Virginia. They left at 4 in the morning when it was still dark, before even the birds were awake. They drove all day long and into the night, and while they traveled along, they looked at strange houses and different mountains, and they thought about their almost purple grapes back at home. They thought about Virginia, but they thought about us too, waiting for them. So they drank up all their pop and ate up all their crackers and traveled all those miles until finally they pulled in our yard. Have you ever had relatives come visit? Have you ever been excited to see them? I have. I like when my family comes to visit. Then it was into the house for so much laughing and shining faces and hugging in the doorways. You'd have to go through at least 4 different hugs to get from the kitchen to the front room. Those relatives. And finally, after a big supper or 2 or 3 times around, until we have all gotten a turn at the table, there was quiet talk, and we were in 2s and 3s throughout the house. And the relatives weren't particular about beds, which was good since there weren't extras. So they squeezed in with us, and the rest slept on the floor, some with their arms thrown over the closest person, or some with their arms across one person and their legs across another. It was different going to sleep with all that new breathing in the house, with everybody sleeping all over the place. It must be fun to have a really big sleepover with your relatives. The relatives stayed for weeks and weeks, and they helped us tend to the garden and fix any broken things that they could find. They ate up our strawberries and melons, and then promised we could eat up their grapes and peaches when we came to Virginia. But none of us thought about going to Virginia much. We were so busy hugging and eating and breathing together. Finally, after a long time, the relatives loaded their ice chest and headed back to Virginia at 4 in the morning. We stood there in our pajamas and waved them off in the dark. We watched the relatives disappear down the road. Then we crawled back in our beds and felt too big and too quiet. We fell asleep. And the relatives drove on all day long into the night. And while they traveled along, they looked at strange houses and different mountains, and they thought about their dark purple grapes waiting at home in Virginia. But they thought about us too, missing them, and they missed us. And when they were finally home in Virginia, they crawled into their silent, soft beds and dreamed about next summer. The end. So, have you ever had family come visit you? What was that like? Did you have fun? I can't wait to hear about it. Have a good day.